my mother and dad, they made love, I know that. But their bedroom, the architect from hell made their bedroom about 400 yards under the house with cobalt and uranium and bricks. And we couldn't hear them. We had scientists there. We think they're making love. And then they'd come out of some kind of crazy elevator shaft, and they had like fur trader outfits on and seal pelts just to cover up. It was like Nixon. It was like Watergate. I mean, if my father was having fun, he should have screamed. My mother too. But they covered it up. I mean, my father would be making love, and he would go, "That's gin." He would say, "That's gin." And I gotta go. You've been great. Thank you. I'm exhausted.
Babe, you all right, babe? Are you all right, babe?
I'm all right. I'm doomed. Club sandwiches, airports, penny loafers, grandpa, exes, penises.
Relax.
What?
Relax. You're fine.
No more shows.
No more shows. Don't worry. The concert's over.
Huh?
It's over.
Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah.
Relax, Richard. All right? Everything's going to be okay.
Steve and Gary on the loop, AM
Yeah, okay,
1000 in Chicago.
Really, relax. All right. Goodbye.
What's going on with him now?
Well, Richard's over at the hotel with his manager,
Ah.
and he's, I think the best way to describe him right now would be frantic.
Frantic?
He's
That's
frantic.
unusual for
I
Richard.
come to Chicago. You don't have any decent dim sum. My God.
I can't find kosher eye drops.
My God, my posture.
I've got a kink in my spine.
It's worse now because of the humidity. What is happening here?
I am worried about him this time.
No, I don't think so.
No?
No, he's always like that.
Yeah.
That's Richard.
Sure.
He'll be fine. That's Richard.
Look, Alex, I can't even go on. I'm too depressed. You know that?
Richie, I know that. I know it's been rough.
Oh,
man.
come on, man.
I mean, how many women have abandoned you in the past few years? What, 15?
What about heaven?
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know 16.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's probably the wrong time to bring this up, too, but I'm gonna, because I've been meaning to tell you this for 3 or 4 years. It's very important, Richie.
What?
I'm worried you're becoming a hypochondriac.
Oh, come
and you
on.
take too many medications.
I have to, Alex.
Yeah, but for other people, babe,
Oh, come on, babe. They're my best friends. They want to see if I get a bad reaction first. That's why I do it, all right?
you're too good. You're too good. I'm telling you, gotta lighten up, Richie. You gotta lighten up.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
afterlife looks bleak. Look, have I always been there for you? Tell me flat out.
Haven't you?
Haven't I?
Well, won't you?
Haven't I?
You have been.
Wasn't I there when the relatives, they voted to blackball you from family reunions, huh?
Oh, that wasn't an overreaction? So I smeared a little lamb's blood on Uncle Saul. Big deal, huh?
Big deal. All right, fine. But you have to admit, babe, that was tactless.
All right, so I got a couple of problems, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what to do anymore. Everything I do is wrong.
Richie, you gotta stop feeling sorry for yourself. You've come a long way, babe. What was the first gig I booked you into?
SeaWorld?
Yeah, you opened for Shamu. You were great.
Yeah, but that was a nightmare. I mean, I had to share his dressing room, remember that? And putting the tuxedo on the water, it was just...
But you did it. You paid your dues. Now you're on the verge of having everything you ever dreamed about. Oh, man, I don't know. Richie, maybe I should have told you this 6, 7 years ago, but...
What?
You're self-destructive.
What are you saying? So maybe I just can't handle the pressure, is that it?
Pressure. You want to talk pressure, we'll talk pressure. Name the performer that goes under more pressure than anyone else you can think of.
P.T. Barnum, I don't know.
Dick Clark.
Dick Clark?
Richie, I mean, no, he's gonna kill me for telling you this. He's gonna kill me. I
What?
promise me you will not repeat this.
Believe me,
Richie, Dick Clark was born in 1845. He had his body frozen.
What? Get out of here.
When he's up there, you think he's sweating?
Yeah.
He's defrosting. Promise me something tonight before you go on. Just say these 2 little words. Dick Clark, Dick Clark, Dick Clark.
Alex, do me a favor, you're my manager. Handle my career, but let me be me. Let me just take care of my own self.
Okay, I'm sorry. I went too far, so forget it. Just forget it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Lewis.
Dick Clark. Dick Clark. Dick Clark. Dick Clark. Dick Clark. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, another second, I get a rash. You know that. But I have so much on my mind and yet so little to say. You know that. I'm thrilled to be here. I just, what can I say? I just, look how I dress. I don't know what I'm doing. Jews for Satan. I'm not sure what this means. Jack Palance for Democrats. I don't know what it is. Oh, by the way, I have some notes. It's for you. I have no life. Why I bring a kite with me, it's sort of an embarrassment for comedy, but I swear it's for you. But I'm in the hotel. I'm trying to unwind and get a call. Ex-shrink from like years ago. She was panicked on the phone. She says, you know, I made some kind of problem theoretically, and I have to recall my clients from 1981. I'm sorry. So now I'm afraid, I'm really paranoid now. She's going to try to like help me behind my back now, which is horrible. And then my mother calls, 5:30 in the morning. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I'm not a dairy farm. I don't like to get calls before 6 in the morning. I don't know how, I have a theory, a crazy theory. I feel the phone rings before 6 in the morning, I automatically say, death in the family, death in the family. Why does she call? I'm walking around Chicago, I'm trying to relax, and a payphone rings on Rush Street. How she knows I'm here, I just don't get it, you know? I get on the phone, she goes, hi, is everything wrong? You know, it's like, but she means harm. She means, you know, she's fine. You know, she wants me to know about the family, and yet she hides it from me. It's so ambivalent. The whole thing is so crazy. She goes, you know who passed away 2.5 years ago? You know, it's like she has like gossip dyslexia. It's crazy. She actually has to like talk in front of people's backs. It's sort of a frightening thing. Chicago, what can I say? I love this town. That wasn't, I swear to God, I never do obligatory things. I don't do judgmental things. It screamed of obligatory, but believe me, I mean that. I've been here, and in fact, 5-6 months ago, I did Oprah. I'll tell you right now, it was a good show. I enjoyed doing it, but like I was on last, and I was almost not going to get on. And they said, maybe you'll come on. We'll save you for tomorrow. Thank you, but you know, the show would have been Alcoholic Cats and Richard Lewis. You know, it's like. Talk show, then I did Dr. Ruth too. That was in New York before I did Oprah. But yeah, I like her. And yeah, I'll tell you right now, I'm a short man. I don't feel good about my height. But this woman, and I'm not mocking her because I don't mock, but I swear to God, I would say, I never, the producer had her on a little puppet. She came out on a puppet. I meant pillow. I said puppet. I'm glad I have enough balls to tell you I made a mistake, quite frankly. But she was very short. Dr. Ruth was very short. I'm sitting there, and I'll tell you right now, I know my family was watching, my mother was watching, and I know she said the word penis 111 times in the first 20 seconds. It was like, she had this need. She had a need to say, she had like a penis egg timer there, and I went, I went to Ohio State, and she went, a penis. She said, penis. Like Wyatt Earp, and, but she gives good advice. I momentarily lapse into a Sugar Ray thing. It's a problem. I go to that Sugar Ray Betty Ford clinic, but hey, must I share everything so soon up here? I just, no, Ruth, as if she's my aunt, Ruth. She's Dr. Ruth. Can't imagine her saying, holy mackerel. No, why have the penis gefilte fish? It doesn't make any sense. My chest pain's good. I'm just curious. Are they good? My family used to play with a chest pain possum. It was a big favorite there. Around dinner table. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, this is a classy joint. I happen to like this place, and I always bring cattle with me. I don't know why. Now, Park West is a great place. But I was here once. I was doing a show, and I was like in competition with the most unbelievable thing. Like in the outskirts of town, it was one of these unbelievable miracles. It was the face of the Lord or Jesus. It was on, not or Jesus. I guess they're both the same. But it was on on like a refrigerator wall in Evanston. It was wild. I mean, I saw it on the news. I went, oh my God, I wanted to miss my show. I wanted to go to... So, you know, like 4 people came to my show, and there was lines around that little house in Evanston. And there's never a Jewish miracle. I've never seen... There's a picture of Moses ordering a tongue sandwich at a delicatessen. No, a Jewish miracle is, Phil, it's Richard. Karen called me back. It's a miracle. It's unbelievable.
Mr. Lewis? Gary Shanley's here to see you.
Hey. How you doing? You don't look too good.
I don't feel very good.
You know, I don't always feel good myself. I remember learning to drive on my dad's lap. Did you guys ever do that? Yeah, sit on your dad's lap and he'd work the brakes and then I'd work the wheel. Then I went to take the driver's test and sat on the examiner and failed the exam. But he still writes to me, and that's the really nice part. So, what happened?
I don't know. I was doing a concert.
Right.
And I walk off and I start floating around. I was in hell. I felt doomed. Nothing mattered anymore. You know, it was just...
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah. I saw 2 ugly people kissing today. Have you ever seen that? They were just right there in a department store kissing. Oh, it was gross. You know who you are. Don't do that. It's a sickening thing. I was wiping my lips just watching. You know, it was like, whoa.
Trying to relax. I had a great night's sleep and yet no rest, unfortunately, last night. At a friend's house, a pal from Chicago, and look, I don't know. I stayed in this nightmare. I stayed in this. There's a couple of kids, which is great and everything, which is not to the point. But I was in his guest room, which he called, and he actually had guest room on it, which scared me. It was like you know, Bates Motel. I saw a guest room, a little raccoon waving on a little wooden thing. And first he showed me him and Sarah. Oh, I mentioned her name. So what? So kill me. So that's her name. But they showed her bedroom was like a diamond in Wrigley Field. It was like gigantic. And here we do pottery over here, and we make love over here, and a helicopter can land over here, and then the little guest room, the little raccoons. There was a couch that pulled out. The couch was. First of all, they gave me a manual. They said, good night, thank you very much. It took me about an hour and a half just to pull this out, and there was a mock manual. There was a manual with a girl, like a Circus Vargas midget just saying, I can pull it out and you can't. That was the title of it. I'm not against midgets, I'm not midgetist, but it just looked that way to me. And I finally got on the bed, and God, it was unbelievable. It was like a graham cracker mattress. It was like about a quarter of an inch. And I lie on the bed, and I went down into the valley of nowhere. I was like, you know, I saw another land, and I saw James Down and dinosaurs down there, you know. It's a frightening night. And so I went crazy. I had to take an over-the-counter sleeping pill, which doesn't work, quite frankly. I don't get it. I don't understand over-the-counter sleeping pills. They kick in maybe like, that's it. It's like a second and a half. And then, God forbid, there's a little dust on your shoulder, or it's like little Satans come out, you'll never sleep. It's like they do a whole show. And then I had to count sheep, which is an embarrassment when you're almost 40 years old. I mean, I'm not Walt Disney. How many sheep can you count? I got bored thinking of them, you know. I had the same 3 schmucky sheep trying to get over this fence. One sheep had like a knee pad on, you know, and just look at this posture. This is the thing that's bothering me more than anything. I'm wearing my pants too high. I'll tell you right now. As long as I'm on this run, because I just, you know, one of my goals this year. I hope I have a great 1988. My goal, one of them is I just want to worry closer to the ground. That's one of my goals. My grandfather used to wear them. Unbelievable. He was like a slacks monster, my grandfather. He looked around, he used to belt, and then his pants hit a cloud once, and it started raining over his bedroom, and then this whole posture thing. I sort of feel it's sort of like, it's low self-esteem. I'm sorry, I think low self-esteem is big now, though, in the 80s, and my grandfather, I mean, the whole family is burdened with it. We had the Lewis Funeral Home, had an on-deck circle, which I'm not thrilled about. He had like, you know, forget about it, delusions of other people's grandeur, my grandfather. He used to sleep under his mattress, you know, it was sort of humiliating for everybody. And take me to Yankee Stadium, he'd say like, we'll get great seats after the game, kind of thing. Had this parrot in the house, the parrot used to go, Polly doesn't deserve a cracker, Polly doesn't deserve a cracker. I don't know. Holidays should be a blessing. I don't know, we just usually, the Lewis family, we just, New Year's Eve, we just sort of sit around and watch our hopes drop, around midnight. Every holiday's a nightmare. Holidays should be good. They should be a moment, there's so many now. It's almost like, I feel it's almost a marketing joke. I mean, every time you go to a florist, you could buy a flower. Why? What's going on? Oh, this is a secretaries without tongues today. Thank you very much. Oh, really? I'm sorry. I didn't know that. That sort of pisses me off a little bit. But every holiday, I mean, everything. July 4th. I mean, you'd think that would be a great day, But my father was concerned about parking, and it was, so we would like park like miles away from the stadium and just listen to the fireworks on some kind of. On some station like K, you lose, some kind of, Christmas, Hanukkah, it was the most psychotic holiday. Jewish, and yet we had a Christmas tree, we had a Hanukkah bush, it was the most, it looked like, and they were so guilt-ridden because we weren't that religious, and it was sort of like, well, on Hanukkah, my mother had a menorah on a dimmer. It's the most frightening thing ever. I don't mind being with the family on Hanukkah because being on the road, like I was in the Deep South about 2 years ago on Hanukkah, I swear to God, they thought Hanukkah was a duck call. That's all I know is like, Hanukkah, pull, shoot. That's what, I tiptoed around the Deep South on Hanukkah. I just want a sandwich, I'll be fine. Just let me have a sandwich. But Hanukkah, Christmas, we didn't know what we were, quite frankly. It was sort of I really don't know what we were. We had there was a Christmas tree, and yet it was a Hanukkah bush. It was sort of like an elephant man kind of thing there. It was like, they had balls hanging down, and yet there was like a picture of Golda Meir sort of over here. It wasn't Hanukkah, it wasn't Christmas, it was Hanukkah. We had Hanukkah. When you get presents on Christmas, that's it. That's the greatest thing. To get a present on Christmas, you're going to get all the load on one day. You're going to, oh my God. But Hanukkah, it's sort of a trick. Because if you get a good gift the first day, you walk around, oh, I'm doomed. Because, if you get like a bike on the first day of Hanukkah, the sixth day, you're lucky, maybe you get like a Glossier William Bendix. Oh, thanks, man. And this year, what am I going to get? The family. I got a self-complaining oven. I got that. She got me a dead relative's metronome. I was like, we're here, we're back, we're here. Then I got a remote control wailing wall, which I can use on the road, And I don't know where to begin. My nephews, I had to get little toys. This is a nightmare. I don't know how to shop for children, and I just didn't know what to do. And they had they're called Transformers. It's unbelievable. I was looking at this package, and it's like, it looked like, well, one half of the toy is like a psycho warrior. Then you turn it upside down, it's like a caterer, in a kosher kind of, So it's unbelievable. And then the batteries didn't come with it, and then the batteries were like, then I got some batteries, and they were like old, so like the warrior was like, rather than killing people, and there were like accessories, like onlookers who were watching in shock. That was $100 for those dolls. So the warrior, rather than kill, it just did some like knitting there. It was like sort of a frightening story.
Miss Lewis, Jackie Collins is here to see you.
Richard.
How did you know I was here? How did you know I had a nervous breakdown?
I read it in the trades. You look terrible.
What kind of publicist do I? Oh, I collapsed.
You collapsed? Oh my God, I got something for you here. You collapsed.
What is that?
This is The World is Full of Married Men. It's a book for collapsed
I
men.
can't read.
It's
My
so
eyes are
good.
twirling now.
Lovers and Gamblers, you could try that, you know.
I read
about
that.
him. Yeah, Al King, a superstar.
Oh,
You
yeah,
could
but
read
I just
about
want
that.
to. I want to get out of myself. I
You
need
could
a
get lucky
whole.
if you took chances. You know, these are going to be good for you, Richard. Trust me. If you read these books.
I don't
you know,
trust
they're
anyone.
good for
You know that's my problem,
I know you
Jackie.
don't. Your mother, I mean, Hollywood wife. You need a Hollywood wife.
No, I don't want. I don't want a Hollywood. I want a lumberjack. I think I want a
The world is
lumberjack.
full of divorced women. I mean,
I've been
how
with
about
divorced
that?
women. I've
Did
been.
you have a good time with them? Hollywood
know-
husbands. You could be a Hollywood husband, Richard. You'd
I
be
can't
great.
even be a husband.
Right? The
I don't know how to be
Mercedes,
a
you look
husband.
good.
I just want to
What about The Love
relax.
Killers? The Love Killers?
The Love Killers? That's
Yeah,
an
how about
title,
these?
isn't
The
it?
Bitch,
I
the
don't know.
Bitch. You want to talk about that?
No, I don't want that
You
either. I
had
just,
that already. Let's
Jackie,
see
what do I do?
else.
I go back to the house in Jersey, which was pre-Bruce Springsteen. Like back in 1965, 66, there was nothing to chant when we went to school. We were chantless. We'd go to school like. And I tried. I went Frederick March, Donald Reed, but it was just. We were a chantless Jersey back then, and New Jersey. Holy mackerel! I love Jersey. I was raised lowered, quite frankly. I feel I was lowered. Not so much for the geography there, but for the. I just don't know. There's not a verb alive that describes what happened to me as a child. They meant well, I think. They read these books, How to Raise. I think that Spare the Joy was one of the books they read. It was like child rearing by dice. Hello, that's what it was. It's Halloween and you're gonna dress up like a tree. Good, go. I lived on a big game board. My father, a big board with a spinner. My father kicked the spinner, and you're not gonna go to school. You're going to China. Oh, great, I'll go to China. I go back to my old neighborhood, which is had been there in 20 years, and pretty frightening. I saw the old house. I got a chill in the car. I heard, I heard sounds. I saw this little kid. He was sitting on a tricycle. It was like Damien. He was just sitting there, and I said, I'm sorry. I'm an old guy now. I lived there. I was tortured and ridiculed right up there. I don't want to scare you or anything, but right up there, it's where it all happened. Right up there. I know you're young and you're just starting out, and but I just maybe I can just go in there and just see the old bedroom again, And he looked at me and he went, "Your mother sucks cock in hell," and his head spun around. And his tricycle went, it turned to like Satan's wings and was flying around the neighborhood there. You can't go home again. It's impossible to go. Nothing has changed. Everything with the house was sort of there. I mean, that sort of anxiety vein that we had in the house. There was like a 2-foot aluminum therapist that would point to potential trouble areas in the house. Inside the house, it was a nightmare. I had mirrors in the hallway to watch oncoming conflicts as they came down. And I kept my door open so I could get cross humiliation from my sister and my brother there. And our basement that was supposed to be for ping pong and fun, it was called the 40-year basement. Apparently they put sand in the basement to recreate the 40 years it took the Jews to get out of the desert. So it took about 3 hours just to get that club sandwich over there. I think I'll have a glass of water. Oh God, it was just it was nice, religious-wise, but go back to the old neighborhood, and I saw my old Cub Scout little den there, and I was a Cub Scout for a while, but I'll tell you right now, it was sort of, I don't know if it was so much me, but just the group of guys that I was involved with. It was so depressed. It was we didn't care about anything. It was like the tragedy scouts. It was unbelievable. I mean, we'd see like a beautiful little sweet elderly woman, like 100,000 years old, waiting there, and we knew shouldn't we do something? Aren't we scouts? Shouldn't we help her across the street? But I was going for my noose badge. I didn't know what I was doing in it. I said, "Hi, I'm a Cub Scout. I know you're elderly, and we have to respect our elderly. But hey, don't I have problems myself? Aren't I so?" I saw my little, I just out of the corner of my eye, which I rarely use that cliche. Maybe it's not a cliche. I have no vocabulary, but it looks like my little league T-ball. Put it away. I don't use props, but I just. We used to put a ball on the top of a tee. It was the most humiliating league in history. It was called T-ball, and it was unbelievable. You put the ball there. well, you put it here, and all you do is smack it like a little cranky kid. You can smack it, and if the ball went like a foot, it was a single. 3 feet, it was a double. It was a and my mother said, look, I know you're only 6. I know you have a lot of pressure, and I don't want you to feel nervous, but Grandma flew in from Russia to see the championship game. Nightmare. It's unbelievable. Not that I'm a good athlete, I don't know, I wasn't, but I had trick knees, and I was in the Jewish Center League, which was unbelievable. You know, the refrigerators here in Chicago, I was the humidifier, that's all I know. I felt like the humidifier. I would like run excuses in from the sideline, you know. It's Jewish Center League. One championship game, both teams claimed defeat at the end of the game, you know. And the cheerleaders, the shroudettes, they would go, beat ourselves, beat ourselves. You know? And halftime, we have a kick, putt, and mourn contest at halftime. A frightening thing. But thinking about my buddy from actually it's Evanston from Chicago, picks me up. You know, he's 40 years old and he has a family. I'm gonna get melancholy, although that's a good name for my first daughter, melancholy. But I just feel so dumb all of a sudden. I was talking to him, if I ever become a father, I'll be like, 195 years old when the kid's like in Little League. So because I had a good friend in high school, his father happened to be like 50 years older than him. Apparently, maybe he was from Belgium, he was a puppet maker, he came to America, whatever it was. When he came to Jersey, he got married when he was 60, we were in high school, he was 111, that's all I know. And he used to sit in his window like that scene in Psycho. He'd sit there and he never moved. And I just always felt, he was going to turn, and my friend would say, let's come up, we're going to have some spare ribs with Dad. No, I think we'll stay, we're fine. We'll just stay out here and we'll stay in the street. It's okay, and I just feel like I feel so dumb. I just don't know anything. It's unbelievable to me. I went to college so long ago. I have no information in my brain. I could never take a midterm now in a trillion years. If someone said to me, I know you love your friends, I know you care about your family, what's the French and Indian War? You have 5 minutes. I go, well, take care of yourselves. French and Indian War, I would write, all right, go. I would say, well, there was a guy, this maniac from Paris, he wore a beret, he was an asshole, he was anti-Semitic, and he threw a rock in an Indian's eye, and the Indian, he went to shoemaker school. What do you write? You know what I mean? I think that the dumbest I felt in the last 15 years was about 2 years ago when Hallie's coming. I say Hallie now, it was Hallie for me for 38 and a half years. I heard Tom Brokaw say Hallie. I went, oh my God, what else don't I know in life? What else? I was afraid to not get a pizza. I said, can I have a slice of pizza with anchovies? The guy could say, you mean a sluice of puzzo with anchovies? How did I even get into school? Whatever that meant in another language, I hope it's good for you. How I even got into college, I don't, the SATs, I'll tell you right now, getting into, pardon me? Okay, good. Okay, let's not turn this into a pirate den all of a sudden. How I got into school, when I took that SAT, I planned, this is an embarrassing thing to admit, I planned 14 years in advance. I was 40 years old, I went, the SATs. I was like ready, it was like Super Bowl time, I had 14 years under my belt. I put black under my eyes, SATs. I didn't care about nursery school. I didn't care about first grade. I was ready. I was going to college, man. I had every book. I had books called You Have 13 Years to Go, Don't Blow It. I had that book. I was ready. I was pumping up. I knew everything. I knew how much praying mantis weighed when they were making love. I knew what carpet looked like when it was upset. I knew everything. I was a year away. I was pumping up. I was getting D's and E's in school. I didn't care. SAT. That's all I cared about. I was a moron. I didn't know one thing except that SAT. I read every book. The day came. I had number 2 pencils. I had a number 2 pencil farm in my backyard. I grew these giant these giant number 2 pencils. They were like mutant number 2 pencils. They were like 30 feet tall. I knew I was ready. I was going to come in with artillery like Ben-Hur. I had these number 2 pencils like on a slave ship. I came in, these little babies, little 16-year-old babies. I had these pencils from hell that were gigantic like cannons. I came in and the proctor said, he said, look, it's the biggest day of your life. The biggest day. And I knew it was. I was ready for 14 years. Because I had a career clock that was ticking behind that SAT. And like Ingmar Bergman's hands, waiting for you to do yourself. I knew, man, that I was ready. He said, look, the proctor said, and I never used the word proctor in public, but I just use it now. He said, look, he says, if you don't understand, if you don't get the question, move on. Don't be a schmuck. I went, fine. Because I already read the book when I was 6. Move on, don't be a schmuck. I got it in Israel when I was there. So I knew that book. It was go, boom, let's go. The first question, nightmare of nightmares. The first question, and here was the question, because I still dream of it. It was 6 words. It was 6 words. It was basically, well, here was the answer. The answer was, the farmer took 100,000 bushels to the festival. B was, or 6 bushels to the festival. I went, how can they both sound so good to me? I don't understand it. How can I be off by 99,000 bushels? How many words are there? It was like 5 sentences. I mean, I couldn't believe it. So everybody was riding with their little baby number 2s. I had my big, but I wasn't gonna move on. There's no way. I got paranoid. I felt that there was some kind of TV show, like an Alan Funt show. The schmuck's gonna take a guess. And Ed McMahon was there, and people were there. It was a studio audience on bleachers. They were moving him in to see me. I didn't move on. I said, what? I can't believe it. I cut out the question. I repatched it up there. I put it on a board there. Everybody already had left the class. It was like some of the students, they were interviewing for jobs for coal mines in Pittsburgh. The janitor came in. He was painting the school. Hi, how you doing? What's going on, man? The frightening thing, I wouldn't move on. I did something that was the biggest nightmare of my life. I don't think anyone ever did it in high school history. I added a box on this. It was the summertime and the farm had a heart condition. It should be
Really a depression, huh?
Yeah, I just had this happened to me. It just came out of the blue.
Let me see. It just came out of the blue. Whatever you say, I'll make up some stupid song about it, because it all goes into my publishing firm anyway.
That's true. I don't know. Maybe my time was here to have this, you know? It just happened and...
Could be. My time was here to have this right and now.
That's great.
It's not great, but it fills in a little time. I go up and down the hall sometimes to cheer up the people.
I had to go to a wedding, and before I got to my family, I take this airplane from, I think, Cincinnati to Columbus or something, and it was like 6 seats. 6 seats. The airline was one of those things where, like, I mean, there's no major carrier, so you had to take, I think the airline was Hello, Phil. That was the name of the airline. And the logo was this captain, like, wiping his brow on it was on every napkin on the wing. This guy, you know, it's frightening. I get on there, and I'm nervous to begin with, and I'm sitting next to a couple of people. There's a woman from India, beautiful woman, deeply religious. I'm not judgmental, I swear, but she had a turban from hell. It was like about a 30-foot turban, and she had like a little cassette deck about 15 feet midway up, and she had a little cassette in there. Maybe she was listening to like all news and weather from Bangkok. I don't know what she was. And her daughter had a turban. Her daughter was like 6. And her baby son, it's not fair to make a little baby wear a 7-foot turban like that. He was walking around, they looked like a xylophone on acid, these three. Is it fair to make a little boy who wants to just do everything like, I want to play Little League? You can't, it's blood from a lamb day. I'm sorry, you can't go. And I'm next to a guy from Austin or El Paso, this crazy guy with a 40-foot, like, gallon hat on his head. He had like a little HO track on top of his head. The guy was like lassoing snacks in the plane there. And then there was a guy, ACLU guy, this real liberal lawyer, which was cool, but then he started getting me crazy. He took out his wallet, he had like one of these accordion things, pictures that came down, had like pictures of the wrongly accused. He had like all these people. Sirhan. When I hear Manson, that's when I go, penalty, no good. I'm sorry. They deliberate every 10 years. I don't care. I don't want to know this. I mean, what can the lawyers say? What can they possibly say to even consider this? Manson, they could say, well, I don't know, come on, maybe he's serious about pharmacy school. We don't know this, you know. So I go on the road and sitting in Las Vegas in a one of these, I couldn't get, anyways, a long story, bad hotel, sitting there, they had like a bad lounge act, like bad legend show. It was like, we're trying to recognize, who is that? Is that Marconi? Is that Marconi? Who could that be, you know? Just sitting there, I don't want to gamble, I'm a very addictive personality. I mean, I go to the roulette wheel, all my hair on red, all my hair on red. So I just sit in the room, watch TV like I do on the road, and you know, I checked out of this joint, and they charged me like $400. Apparently I saw this movie, The Smurfs Take a Snooze 111 times. You know, you put your finger on this box, he's like an alien there, you know, it's waiting, come on, just press this for a minute. I mean, you know, don't press this for pay TV, for TV from Poland, for TV from Bolivia. You know, they want to mock you when you leave there, and I was just staying up watching every horror movie known to man. I was paying the price. I mean, Halloween 9 divided by 2 divided by 3. I mean, and then the movie, remember that book, It? This really killed me, the book, It. I just couldn't believe Stephen King wrote this. I mean, I can't sleep, period. But I mean, It, I mean, I'd be lying at night, I have like a sweat. Honey, there's a pronoun in the basement, there's a pronoun in the basement. And I had a date, it didn't work out. I'm lying in bed, you know, in Vegas, they have these mirrors everywhere, you know, and I was undressed, and which is one of my goals this year, to just be undressed when I make love, which is over coal, and I saw the view of my body from God, which is the most frightening thing. If you don't work out, I look like Flipper. I look like Flipper. Oh my, I can't believe it. You know, and I have roles, we all have, people, if you work out, fine, but if you're born with roles, because I was in an incubator, I was born in an incubator, I wasn't born in an incubator, that would have been a little frightening. But I was 1.5 inches by 2, and I'll never forget it because I know my friends Dave and Phil, we were rolling around there, like sort of like a hot dog thing in a movie theater. I was there for about 5 weeks. And my father came over, and he looked like Rodin, he went, what are you gonna do this summer? I just wanna get out of here first, you know? And I had the roles, and you know, maybe I could just, you know, change my energy to make it positive. Maybe the roles can be, maybe I use them as end tables, you know what I mean? Like, just put glasses on and serve or something. I used to go shopping with my old man every fall, like in high school, junior high school. I try to get like, you know, the one suit for school. But this is unbelievable. It's like a conspiracy to mock guys or women with roles. I mean, I would walk in and I'd say, Pop, that's the suit I want. That's what I want. It's sort of like an English cut kind of Beatles, Day Clock 5. It sucks in there, and you know, you walk around like Sammy Davis, but who cares? You know what I mean? And I said, that's what I want. The salesman saw me and he went, they're not for you, Porky, immediately. And he made an announcement. There's a husky in the store, a husky. And they take you down to husky hell. The salesman took you down there. Had this like bird on his shoulder, like a parrot going, fettuccine, fettuccine. And he walked down there. They had these mannequins, these bloated mannequins with their flies open, wolfing down hero sandwiches, you know.
Mr. Lewis, Larry King is on the line for you. Do you mind if I watch?
This is Larry King in Washington. We're going to the hospital room of Richard Lewis now. Richard.
What on earth is wrong?
Larry, I'm just absolutely exhausted.
Finally, I don't know what to say. I thought maybe it's just coincidental, but this was my 10,000th show, and I just collapsed.
Did you have pain, restlessness? What was the feeling like before you collapsed?
Well, it's always something
That's been on my mind, you know, and I feel a little silly, you know.
telling you.
Go ahead, tell me.
I felt like there was a
Giant corned beef on my chest.
and it was on my chest.
A corned beef, was it a sandwich or just corned beef?
No,
I had the sandwich phenomenon before. As soon as I finished my concert, you know, for HBO, the corned beef just materialized in front of me. I had like an out-of-deli experience.
What was it like? Many of us have never experienced that.
To ride in an ambulance with sirens going.
Quite frankly, it was, I'm not proud of this, but that was our family's second car.
so that wasn't a big deal.
Okay, all right.
Well, your opinions are friend and concern. God bless you, Richard. Speedy recovery.
Thanks very much, Larry.
Get better.
All right, buddy. I sort of enjoy seeing some of my family. Family should be important. I know that I take total responsibility for the parents I had, you know, and although, you know, I feel I lived under an assumed childhood, quite frankly. My mother, nothing changes. She drove me nuts. She drove me nuts. She talked in a double language that I don't get it. I just don't get it. She made my dog, I had one pet. And I never had luck with pets because I live alone in LA and I've had about 30 turtles, little turtles that have killed themselves. These little turtles, by the way, I think they're outlawed now because they're suicidal, these things. It's just, every time I come home, I open up the door and I go, oh, Pokey's dead, Pokey's dead. But I had a dog, Trico, that committed suicide because my mother just drove the dog nuts. And she used to, I mean, she talks in double messages. She'll take a bone and she'll throw it and she'll say to the Trico, she said, don't fetch that, see what I care. Okay? So the dog goes, what? Should I not get it for her? Am I not getting it for me? What do you do? What do you do? And then, and the dog finally did it, because I heard he was like whistling like little prison tunes in the backyard. I knew it was not good. She actually said to Trico, you can't come in the house and you can't go out of the house. Well, you know, what's the dog gonna do? He was doomed. Midair was the only thing left. And my father, he meant well, I guess. He was never home. You know, I don't know if I'm ever gonna be, I don't know what to do. We had a picture, an 8x10 picture, chemically treated. So we knew like it would turn blue if he would have been pissed off by something we said. He just wasn't around, you know. He went to work all the time. He had like he gave us like a little obligatory kind of stories, like at like 3 in the morning, like you're 4 years old, and you're lying in bed, he come, hi, how you doing? Hansel and Gretel, gotta go to work, gotta go. And he always would cut me off. I mean, that's why I think I did this, whatever I'm doing. I needed to talk to someone. I mean, I'd be sitting around the table, I'd go, you know, I have a lot of sexual problems, pass the meatloaf. So he'd cut me off. The only way I could express myself, I had to just leap and talk. I had to leap and talk. It was sort of like, I'm a homosexual communist lesbian. I had to get his attention. And he gave advice from hell. He didn't know what he was talking about. He'd say, you know, never kill praying mantis. Why, Dad? Well, they help catch kidnappers. Okay, thank you very much. What does that mean? What does that mean? He told me how to swim. I mean, I was 4 years old. He took me to a pool, an edge of a pool, a deep end. He got behind me and he went, find Atlantis. And he said, never, ever, like, here's the two things that destroyed me. He says, never show a dog you're afraid. Well, I'll tell you right now, there was a Nazi Doberman pinscher that terrorized our neighborhood. It was a giant dog. It was like, I think it was like a seventh wonder of the world. It was like almost like in a Doberman float parade on New Year's Day. And they had to build this 30-yard link fence, and he had a helmet on. He was like two-step down the street to destroy us. And one day I confronted this pinscher. I said, look, I'm not frightened of you. I'm not frightened of you. And the dog, he made if I had like a lamb chop hanging on my neck, a perfect leap, and he said to me, you know, I wouldn't have bit you, but you were too cocky. You were too cocky about it. But when he said, never run from a bee, I'll tell you right now, I wish you well, I hope you have great advice, I don't know. It's a nightmare. I was in this Cub Scouts and I went to a park and it might as well have been like a New Year's Day thing, a bulb coming down that said, Beehive, run for your lives, run for your lives. Because everyone ran, I looked around, no one was there but me, but I heard that little schmucky advice, don't run for a bee, don't run for a bee. I stood there and the bees, they started coming at me and they were shaking their wings in disbelief. They couldn't believe it. And the queen bee, I said, I heard her talking, like in bee language. She brought a therapist bee on a little couch to talk to me. They talked me out of standing there. They started stinging condolence cards on my forehead. I was doomed. And then the next day they erected like I'm a schmuck statue in the park, you know. I think I turned that over. That was one of the subtlest things of all time. But I just want to take a breath for a second because I'm getting a rash. You're terrific. Thank you. Well, thank you. You're a great audience. I wish I could feel better about feeling good, quite frankly. I'm a hypochondriac. My grandparents, they lived in a place that made me so out of it in Florida. I think the condo was called Crestfallen. That was the name of it, you know. My grandmother had antique dolls with angina. It was sort of embarrassing. It was just needlessly negative. It was very negative. Everything was food. I could be crying. I'm suicidal. I don't feel good. You're just hungry. You're just hungry. You know. She showed me the fact that she lost her teeth. Look, I'm old. We're all gonna get old. I'm not mocking people that don't have teeth. But, you know, is it fair to show a 4-year-old kid in Roy Rogers pajamas that there's no teeth? Is it fair when they come down in the middle of the night to get a candy bar? I walk downstairs. The light was on, a crazy light in the kitchen. The refrigerator door was like ajar, and I rarely use the word ajar on stage, but it was open. And a bulb was hanging precariously, and I, again, rarely use the word precariously. In fact, I'm frightened of adverbs, but my grandmother was there, and I saw a Hitchcock, and I saw De Palma was sort of sneaking behind the cabinets there, and she was there, and she spun around. It was like unfair to me, and she looked like a snapping turtle. She looked like a snapping turtle. I went, oh my God, and I looked inside her mouth. I saw Christopher Columbus, I saw the Panama Canal there, and I went, oh, I'm going to become a snapping turtle. So I put like exit on every fork she ever sucked, every glass, you know. And so I feel, you know, and they bought me little gifts. I mean, well, they were very negative. We had like a little depression fair in the backyard for my birthday, and we used to throw wooden hoops around. Prescription drugs was a big thing, and they had no Tomorrowland, which is sort of a big thing, and pin the blame on the donkey was a major game in my house.
Mr. Lewis, your circus friend is here to cheer you up.
Thanks for coming.
I'm a big fan.
Why? Because, you know, I want to feel good. You know, if you finally meet somebody, I hope you're in love. I'll tell you right now, shouldn't it be mistake warnings if you're with a woman or a guy that sucks, quite frankly? Shouldn't it be a way to save all that time? I should have known. I walked into her house, and I said, gee, I was in the bedroom. I went, gee, I'm just curious, what's that handwriting on the wall? I just don't understand. I should have known. The first date, we had this heaviness on the first date. I picked her up. Hi, how are you? What, you want to go to a movie? What, do we have to always go to a movie before you want to? I mean, it was like not good on the first. I don't know. It was scary. I don't know. There's so many warnings. I mean, it was like these Freudian slips. She'd say like, I really depreciate you. She said that by mistake. You know? She called Rosh Hashanah Benihana, which was sort of embarrassing. You know, she was young, and what do you do when someone 15 years young? What do you do after dinner? You want to shoot in ladders? I don't know what happened. You know, I came into the bedroom, shh, the Flintstones are on. I'm sorry. You know, and she was watching the Dennis the Menace trilogy, and she was asking me things like, is Mr. Wilson the Antichrist? I don't know anything like that. You gotta move on. I don't know. I just, when it's over, it's over. My mother was right in a strange way. When I said, I'm in love with this woman, she said, are you sure you're the right man? You know, so I know I do. But I can't let go. I can't let go of bad things. It's the worst problem to have, I feel, in relationships. You know, I said, you know, you treated me like scum. You're abandoning me. You're mocking me in front of my family. You're spitting blood at me at amusement park rides. But I'll tell you right now, the door is open. The door is always open. I don't know. This should be, when you start dating, best friends have ruined me. Every time I've broken up with somebody, they don't let you be alone. Can't you stay in your house and work on a loom? Can't you be alone? You gotta come to the party, get out of the house. Like you can't be in your own place. I go to this party a couple of weeks ago. It was like a mock party. It was like a theme to mock me. The party was called 13 Couples and You. It was a joke. There's that lights on, like a premiere, movie premiere. I walk in there, I open the door, and everyone's doing like a love do-si-do in the hallway, you know? How do you fall in love? I go to a bar, someone will sneer at me, and I'm hooked, quite frankly. I fall in love too fast. I should wear like cologne with like an antihistamine. I should just sort of slow down a little bit. I mean, I'm in love. I call I'm in love. What does she do? I don't know. I think she's a mammal. That's her. afraid to go out there. Everybody knows, look, it's frightening. You got to take careful. I don't know. What do you do? Masturbation, I'm afraid I might give myself something, quite frankly. I lie in bed, I go, can't I just be friends with myself? You know, is it wrong to go out with someone? Believe me, I'm not a sexist, but yeah, after a first date, look, before we make love, you think we could just boil ourselves before we get into bed? What do you do? I just feel sex should be a key. I don't know, we were headed for an orgasm custody battle. I'm convinced of this now. I know intercourse is one of her pet peeves, she said, you know. I mean, when you're making love, she was giving herself a breast examination, you know. She said, I want to get my orgasm out of the way, which I felt was humiliating. I mean, I want to cuddle with somebody. She insisted on sleeping perpendicular to me, whatever we were. Can't you hug somebody? I mean, we slept like in the knife and fork position. It was sad. I didn't even know what my body was used for anymore. I said, when does this thing go again? You know, it's sort of embarrassing. You know, I was trying to be good. I mean, but she mocks me. She said I gave her an anti-climax. She was telling my friends, you know, while I'm trying to get, you know, during foreplay, she went, okay, I get the point. You know. We'd be making love and she'd be screaming out, Fagin, Fagin, you know, it's like, and I would fantasize I was someone else, which sort of was a humiliation to me. Can you be hot? Heat is important, but you know, when you come, the first time you make love, you think of nothing else, but after a couple of weeks, couple of months, you start making love a little slower. Oh, we gotta get the paint tomorrow morning, and then, you know, you sort of a little slower, and I don't know, and the orgasms I know are supposed to be an important part, but you know, she wanted to do it exactly the same time. She wanted to have a simultaneous yabba dabba do, which was sort of like, we went to this sort of, you know, this simultaneous clinic, and we walked in the same time, we took 2 cars at the same time, you know. I thought we did it at the same time, but then she said we had to have a photo finish, which was sort of an embarrassing thing. She didn't want to screw anymore. It was that simple. She'd come to bed in turtleneck lingerie, which was embarrassing. She had like an armrest in the middle of the bed there, you know, and she wore like a Rubik's bra to bed, you know, and I just want to feel good now. So now it's over with. I want to start over, but I had to take some time off. I checked into a penis awareness clinic in Santa Barbara. I don't know what to do. I want to be able to express myself in bed. To me, it's a goal, to make love and feel hot about yourself and who you're making love to. To go, to scream. I can't say I love you. I once said kettle of fish. I said kettle of fish. I'm like an announcer. Richard's having a wonderful time with Karen. I just don't know how to, you know, I just don't know what to do. I want to be like, you know, Al Jarreau. I want to, I love you. You are everything to me. So I have my Al Jarreau tapes, my Barry White tapes. I'm so good while I'm in the act. I love you. You are everything to me. You are my life. As soon as I have an orgasm, hey, any more frozen waffles in the freezer? Not fair. And I have no poise. I'm like a rookie in Vero Beach. And when I have an orgasm, I give away family secrets. I'm not happy about that. You know, we have coal mines in Wyoming. Oh my God, you know. And I have trick knees. You know, it's not fair. You know, men, you have one orgasm, boom, check, please, bed 2. But you know, women, you're so lucky. But you know, it's sort of like, let's go again. It's a great idea. But you know, I think I'll put aluminum siding on the house before I do it. She wanted to do, like, I read The Joy of Sex, whatever that book was, position 9000A, you're in bed, you know, your wife's holding a wok, you know, it's like, are we making love now? Am I even in the room? Is my penis involved in this act now? If I had to write a sex manual, I'd probably call it, ow, you're on my hair. That's what I would call it. I don't know who to blame anymore for this. I don't know. I blame my family. Maybe I shouldn't. My mother and dad, they made love. I know that. But their bedroom, the architect from hell made their bedroom about 400 yards under the house with cobalt and uranium and bricks. And we couldn't hear them. We have scientists there. We think they're making love. And then they'd come out of some kind of crazy elevator shaft, and they had like fur trader outfits on and seal pelts just to cover up. It was like Nixon. It was like Watergate. I mean, if my father was having fun, he should have screamed. My mother too. But they covered it up. I mean, my father would be making love, and he would go, that's gin. He would say, that's gin. And I gotta go. You've been great. Thank you. I'm exhausted.
Baby, all right, babe? Are you all right, babe?
Well, Miss Blaine, I feel better. And thank you very much.
See you again?
Richard Lewis. Jesus Christ. How you doing?